Hello world, hello Nick.
Hi, Softube 2017 NAMM.
True
Second
that.
day. How you holding up?
I'm fine, thanks, I'm fine. Yeah, went to bed unusually early last night, so I had a good night's sleep, so I'm actually quite fresh.
I'm glad to hear that. Right, so you've got some exciting news that we need to know about, right?
We do, and you need to hear about this. Perhaps you know about our software hardware mixer console 1. So that's the software you're seeing, and you just saw the hardware.
Yeah, it's like a virtual mix channel.
Exactly, yes. So there are two big pieces of news that has to do with console 1. Number one, we have been able to reduce the manufacturing costs quite dramatically. Because it's been a success, we've sold a lot of these things. So the price in dollars will drop from $849 to $499. So that's a price drop of 40%, roughly. I'm not sure how that translates into pounds. I think they said a new price of circa $429.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? So that's the one thing. It's a Mark II. It's a slightly changed hardware, but to be honest, at least from the user standpoint, the differences aren't that big. The LED rings are a bit more visible. There are a couple of news when it comes to the screen printing, but essentially it's the same thing, same robust quality, the same nice responsive feel to the encoders. It's not a flimsy thing. It's still the same super high quality that.
Just to recap, I mean, people are generally. I mean, this is like having a mixing console in front of you as a controller.
Yeah, I can show it from you, or show it to you from sort of like the beginning. So, console 1, yes, we introduce it as a hardware-software mixer. You use it together with your DAW. So now I'm showing it in Studio One. As you can see, I've inserted the Console 1 plugin on all the tracks of my Studio One session. It works with any DAW that runs VST, Audio Unit, and AAX plugins on Mac, on Windows, 32-bit, 64-bit, in other words, any major DAW. So the Console 1 plugin actually it routes the sound over to the Console 1 mixer. What you see down here is the meter bridge. You see 20 tracks at the time. There's a page plus minus button. So if you have a lot of tracks, you can still run that. It's all dependent on the computer's CPU. So the meter bridge, you see the 20 tracks, they correspond to these 20 track selectors. So the workflow of Console 1 is very close to that of a live mixer, a digital live mixer. So for example, you hear a problem with the lead guitar on track 10, you select track 10 and you start fixing the problem with that lead guitar. Perhaps it needs some compression, let's turn that on, turn down the threshold, turn up the ratio, and then you can all of a sudden have perhaps a bit much compression, to be honest.
But it allows you sort of hands-on.
Yes.
Yeah, it takes the mouse out of the equation.
So a modern workflow, very hands-on, very quick, but a timeless sound, because the software part of this also includes, in the price of purchase, even with the new price, our model of the SSL SL4000E. Obviously a very classic console, British. And so what you get in the package included is the gates from that console, the EQ, the compressor, and we also modeled the saturation that you would get from overdriving the desk, which is a thing that a lot of people like to do with the SSL 4Ks. They're known for their delicate and nice crunch. Now, so that's included in the $499 package. You can expand the system by adding other Softube plugins. So, for example, if you're not happy with the SSL EQ for a specific track, I will hold Shift and EQ. And as you can see, I've just called up a list of all Softube plugins that are available and installed on this system. So I'll just scroll down and pick something else. And now the other big piece of news that we have for NAMM 2017 is that it's not only limited to Softube plugins, you can now also call up UAD plugins. a select number of UAD plugins. So you have, yes, you can see API, Chandler, you have the pull text, and etc. etc.
So if you've got the UAD system and those plugins installed, it means you can control them via your hardware.
You just call them up, it's pre-mapped, you just attach everything and the system will identify and detect your UAD and Softube plugins and they will show up on the list.
So when you do that, does the UI change to reflect the GUI that comes with the UAD stuff?
Not really, not very much. The only slight little thing is, as you can see, for our own plugins, we have this equalizer curve. That one is actually taken directly from the plugin itself, so it actually shows what the plugin does. Now, if I switch over to, for example, a Harrison 32, which is a very nice EQ, you can see, oh, sorry about that. Oh yeah, there you go. You can see that you don't get that curve. You still get the FFT because that curve is taken really from down in the log.
You're mapping the plugin controls to your controls here.
Yes. So you can see I'm controlling it. You see the level and settings and everything. Right. The only thing you don't get with the UAD plugins is the pretty curve.
But you can use the hardware, right?
Exactly. So so that makes sense. It's the same thing with the compressor section. I'll hold shift and press comp, and that calls up a list of the available compressors that I have on the system. And luckily I work for Softube, so I have them all. And same thing here, you can scroll down and see the list of UAD compressors and limiters that we have available. And again, you will see top brands like Chandler Limited, which we made, the Teletronics LE2, LE3, Fairchild, and UA's own Precision series.
That's quite a big. I mean, what is it that makes it compatible? Do you have to do some kind of, I guess, some mapping in your own software?
Nothing. It's just connect your console one, connect your Apollo or the UAD satellite, and the system will just identify and find your plugins. It's just going to work straight out of the box.
And that's all UAD plugins, or all?
It's not each and every one. We handpicked a number of EQs and compressors that made sense with the controls.
Right.
There are still a few more we will do. It takes a little bit of time to do this because it's all pre-mapped, so we just didn't release the entire batch. We want to do it properly. So there will be more UAD plugins coming out that will be available for integration. But at the point, the total count of extra plugins you can get for Console 1 is over 60. So it's a pretty nice selection.
That's not enough. It's not the sound that's the problem, it's the music, right?
Perhaps, yes. Or it's not the whiz, it's the one. No, wait. So yeah, over 60 plugins, and obviously we think our plugins are very good. We think Universal Audio's plugins are very good as well, which is why it just makes so much sense to have them on board with us. So yeah, new price in dollars, $4.99 for the entire system, including the SSL. And you can now not only expand with more software plugins, you can also expand with Universal Audio plugins. Over 16 total.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye, all Sonicstate readers. Nice having you here.